Hey, everybody. This is Mother Teresa. How's everybody doing on this Sunday afternoon? I hope everybody has had a great Sunday on today and able to get some things accomplished like I am trying to do. I am actually working in my office today trying to thin out some stuff that's in my office. I've been looking at my office and I would show it to y'all, but it's definitely a mess. I've got stuff everywhere, and it's definitely not what I would want it to be. This office was originally my husband's office, and so it's very manly. It's got a lot of things that are on the shelf. I may be able to show you all like some of the things. If I go higher, you can see some of the things that are up there. It's airplanes. It's a shofar. My husband plays a shofar. And then, of course, you can see a cow. My husband's grandparents, like mine, were farmers. And so I think that is something that came from his grandparents. And then, of course, let me see how much I want to show you all of this. So I've started taking some stuff off the shelves. Like my husband is a police officer, so a lot of his certificates and everything like that I've taken off the shelf because he's going to take them to his office. And hold on for just a second. Let me let my daughter know that I can call her back later. So anyway, so a lot of those certificates are right there in that chair. So he's going to take them to his office. And then there's some other things over there. My lighting. I said I wasn't going to show y'all this office. But anyway, all of my books, a lot of the stuff that I'm working on, that I'll be working on today. Some things that are over there. You all see those chairs right there? That chair. Of course, it's got stuff in it. I'm going to send it to another part of the house. But I'm going to tell you about those chairs in just a minute. And then let me show you like this wall over here. We love to travel. So a lot of the stuff that's in this office is travel related. There's some certificates on the wall for MLK Day. My husband was very instrumental in starting in our community the MLK Day for the community which we live in. And so I have no idea what I showed you all. But anyway, those chairs, let me tell you about these chairs. That chair, and it's actually two of them. You may be able to see the other one. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, it's two of them. We've had those chairs. My husband and I have been married for over 40 years. Actually, in April of this year, I know the camera is doing a lot of moving, but that's okay. In April of this year, we will be married for 41 years. We have had these chairs that was probably one of the first things that we purchased for our second home. And we have had these chairs all this time. And originally they were in like our formal living room. And so we have used these chairs for church anniversaries where we've taken them to our church, and our pastor and his wife have sat in those chairs for their anniversaries services at church. And not just one pastor, but I want to say 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 pastors and their wives, and one was just the pastor, he wasn't married, have sat in these chairs for their anniversaries, pastoral anniversary. And for those of you all who don't know what that is the celebration of like the pastor and his wife, once a year, an annual celebration where the congregation celebrates them and showers them with love, not only in words, but in financially. So it's usually a very festive time for the congregation. And then, of course, I have pictures of my husband and I, my mother-in-law, and I'm trying to think if I have pictures of my mom in those chairs. But those chairs could actually tell a story about our life. And so, or different parts of our lives. And so I don't necessarily want to part with the chairs, but they definitely don't match. Y'all wait a minute. I'm trying to get this camera set up. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'll probably have to edit this. We'll see. The chairs definitely do not belong in this space. And when I say this space, I mean they really don't belong in this office, especially if I am going to redo this office so it's more for me, more for a lady. The furniture in here is brown. We have this huge, and you definitely can't see it now, but we have this huge executive dark, I don't even know what kind of wood it is. It looks like a cherry wood. It's the most beautiful desk. Has a little curve, little cutout. You can kind of see a little bit of it. But anyway, but it's massive, and it's my husband's desk, and it's one that he purchased, with the intent of him working at this desk. He used to work from home. He doesn't anymore, but he does still do a lot of work from home, but he doesn't necessarily, I know I'm moving this camera a lot. I'm just trying to get it in the right spot. He doesn't necessarily come in this office and use it as much as I do. Matter of fact, he doesn't hardly use it at all compared to, I'm in here almost every day. So I don't necessarily want to get rid of some of the things in this office, but there are a lot of things in this office that I want to get rid of. There are lots of cameras in here. There are like 2 ring lights in here. There are 2 big lights that we typically would use for our 360 photo booth. And they just give off a lot of light. And then also we use those lights if we ever have like a power outage. So it's just a lot of stuff in this room. My daughter's sending me a message. So but I need to clean some of this stuff out. I just don't, like I said, some of the things that are in here, they definitely hold sentimental value. And some of the things that I'm taking off the shelves, trying to, declutter, they hold sentimental value. And I just don't want to get rid of them. And I don't know about some of you all, but how do you all feel about things? Like I said, I explained to you all about my chairs and the sentimental value that they hold. And I don't necessarily want to get rid of them. I would love to reupholster them, but that's going to probably cost a fortune. And the fabric is in excellent shape. I mean, there are no rips, there are no tears. There's nothing wrong with the chairs at all. When I say they are in perfect condition, because we haven't sat in them very much. Even the cushions are still good, where the cushions, they may need a little, fluffing, and the chairs could definitely use a cleaning, but they're not really, there are no stains on them. There is nothing wrong with my chairs. So I would hate to get rid of them, but again, they just don't belong in this space. And maybe depending upon the decor that I eventually settle on for this room, maybe I can use or incorporate some of those, the color that's in there, because they're kind of a gold tone. And like I said, they're very pretty. So I don't necessarily want to get rid of them. You all saw them. You all tell me, give me some ideas of what I can do with the chairs. Now, here's the other dilemma. Books. If you can see, we have books, and books, and on the lower shelves, it's books and books and books and books and books and books and lots of books. And these are not even all of my books that I have that are here. But the other part of it is I need to do something with these books. Of course, they belong on the bookshelf, but then I look at so many different offices that I see on, different people that are working out of their office, and it just looks so streamlined, and it looks so dainty, and it looks so whatever, and there are no books. And I'm like, I am a reader. My family, my girls, especially my girls, we're all readers. And so I have a ton of books about definitely my Bibles and my references, my, and all kinds of Bibles and all kinds of whatever. And then I have just books about that are, Christian related books. And I'm just looking at books by all different types of people, just all different types of people. It's probably one, two, three, probably four shelves is Christian related books. And so I read them, or I have read most of them, let's just put it like that, at one point in my life. But they're books that I don't want to get rid of. It's books that I like to go back, and when I'm thinking about something, or if a thought comes to me, I can go back and I can pick up that book and say, oh, let me reread this again. And it just kind of, gives me, it doesn't make me feel like I've read it for the first time, but it just kind of reignites what I read, years ago. There are books about finances, and, I'm looking at Dave Ramsey and the Money Book by Sylvia Porter, and Consulting Success, and It's Your Ship, and Simple Abundance, and um, Basic Black 101. It's just books about marriages and books about family. Lots of African American history books, lots of children's books, lots of just books about counseling, books about social work, uh, just a lot of books, you all, just lots and lots and lots of books. Look on the other side. When we used to go to AIM, we would get the, I guess it was the AIM is Auxiliaries in Ministry. It's a organization through the Church of God in Christ. And they would have like these, like souvenir books. And they were these big, thick books. And where you could take out ads and different things like that. And we would buy those throughout the year, down through the years. And it was always good to just be able to come back home and look and see the different people and look to see what the other churches are doing across the country, across the nation. And so I have a dilemma. I want to streamline. I want to clean out. I want to do some things to change my office. But where do I start? Where do I start? I've started today by boxing up. Oh, and not only books, but then there's pictures. We have pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures. Now, of course, we don't take a lot of pictures and frame them. The pictures are in our phones. But before then, it just seemed like everybody in my family, we love to take pictures. And so basically what we would do is, we have, I can just pick up this little picture right here. And, this is a picture of my grandbaby, my Chase. When Chase was a little boy. Chase is 9 years old right now. And I just pictures, pictures of my girls when they were younger, and of my son, and and taking this one out of the frame, but just pictures, and when I tell you all, it's just pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures and lots of pictures, and they're all in these beautiful frames that I don't want to get rid of, but yet I have nowhere to put them. I used to have them all across the shelf in here. And my husband was telling me, he said, honey, you kind of need to thin out some of this stuff and probably box it up. And of course, that's what I've started doing today. And it's just so many memories, you all. When you've lived a full life and you have accumulated lots of stuff, it's hard to depart. It's hard to go through your stuff and say, okay, I want to box this up right now, because I'm making room for something else, or I'm trying to do something different. But it's hard, you all. It's hard to decide, okay, if I can only leave out one picture of my son, one picture of my daughters, one picture of my grandbabies, and, maybe one picture of my husband and I. Well, we have tons of them. We have so many that are my favorite time, favorite something that they were doing, a different period of their lives. And how do you determine the one picture that you want to leave out? The one picture that you want to leave on display? Whew, this is kind of emotional. This is, I didn't think this was going to be this hard, you all. I did not think that cleaning out and trying to redo this office was going to be this hard, this difficult. But I'm finding myself just kind of looking, and I keep looking back, because I'm looking at my pictures, and I'm looking at my books, and I'm like, first of all, where do I put all of this stuff? Where do I store these things where they're not damaged, where they are still in good shape when I want to maybe switch them out? Where do I store them? And I have lots of storage space in my house, lots and lots of storage space. But my fear is, once I put them away, that I'm not going to go back to them and pull them out again. My books, when we moved from Nacogdoches, one of the tubs, the big one of those, this huge tub crates that we were putting and storing our stuff in for the move. One of them, the top wasn't sealed on it, and a whole tub of my books were ruined by water. Some water got into them. And you all, I almost cried I probably did cry as I was going through my books, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, these books I've got to throw them away. It was nothing that I could do to them, with them, because they were ruined. And so I had to throw away a whole crate of my books. And let me just tell you, some of those books that were in there is, I can't tell you which ones they were, but I can tell when I'm started looking for a book and I cannot find it, and I'm thinking, oh, that was probably one of the books that I had to throw away. And then there are other books that I used to loan out, a couple of my books. Oh, there's that Boundaries book. I was looking for that. There was a couple of books that I had loaned out to different people. When I would read them, of course, and if it's a good read, I was like, oh, you've got to read this book. You've got to read this book. And I would tell them, don't buy it. I'm going to let you borrow my book, but when you're done, give it back. And so sometimes they did not come back to me. So, so there is some of my books that it was probably a really, really good book because I recommended it to somebody else to read and I just didn't get it back. But I'm gonna get back to work today. But I just wanted to come on here as I was sitting in my office and, working and trying to, do my task for the day or for today was really to get the pictures off the floor that I had separated in piles. And so I've been able to get the pictures off the floor and get them boxed up. Of course, we'll determine where they're going, where I will eventually put them. But I've been able to get those pictures off the floor. I've been able to move some things. And so what I need to do now is I've got some work that I need to do online. And so I'm going to do that. And I've cleared really like 3 shelves. Well, actually, I still have some pictures on there. But I've got like 3 shelves that I need to figure out what I'm going to do, what I will put there. And then I need to determine what I'm going to do with some of my books, if I do anything with them. That's going to be the hardest part because there's so many. And again, like I said, this is not all of them. But I have 3, 4, 5. Probably 3, 4, 5. I have like 15 shelves of books. Like 15 shelves that are full of books. And they're so full that some of them I've turned them sideways and I've started stacking books on the tops of the books because there's so many that are there. What a dilemma. What a dilemma. And let me just tell you all, I even have some books. I'm a thrifter. And one time I was thrifting and I think I found somebody's, it was probably from an estate sale. And let me see if I can find it. But I have some autographed books by Barbara Jordan. And for Black History Month, if you don't know who Barbara Jordan is, I want you to go find her. I want you to look her up. And I want you to find out who she is and the importance of Barbara Jordan. And I'm just thinking, because I don't see the book, and I sure hope that that was not one of the books that was ruined. And it may have been, and that may have been the reason why I was crying. And let me just tell you, again, so many books. So many books. But these are the books. Mostly these are, see, I can't even hardly get this out of here. It is full. In a little bit, I'm going to read this book. I did a reading for a class. It's called The Big Meeting. It's one of my favorite books. I'm going to read this in a little bit and post it. I did that for a class one year. And that book reminds me so much of the years of my childhood when I was growing up, and we would go to my grandparents' house. Another book, and I'm going to wrap this up, but another book that I have that is of importance to me, it is African Americans in Nacogdoches County. And the reason why this book is important to me is because my dad is in this book. And let me see if I had marked the page. Of course, I've got some notes in here. But my dad is in this book, along with other notable Black or African Americans in Nacogdoches County. This is my father. This is my father. This is William Andrew Sweat. And he was a guitar player. He was a musician. Let's just put it like that. He was a musician. And of course, at the bottom are some of his relatives. And they were part of several different groups, gospel groups in Nacogdoches. And he not only played gospel music, but he played other music. One of the songs that he played really, really well was Green Onions. And I think that's by, is it Booker T? Booker T? Is it just Booker T? Look up Green Onions as well. And that was one of the songs that my dad used to play a lot. So I have these books, and some of these books, it's just, I cannot part with them. I cannot just put them in a box and discard them. They have to stay close by. They have to stay where I can just pick them up and refer back to them. But you all, if you're interested in African American history in Nacogdoches County, this is a great book. You can find it on Amazon. Another great book that I was mentioned, Basic Black. I said Basic Black 101. But this is another great book, Basic Black, and it talks about home training for modern times by Catherine Grisby Bates and Karen Elise Hudson. Listen, when I tell you about home training and the lack thereof that you see in some of the children and the people today, this is what they need. This is what they need. And I see where I have it kind of bookmarked right here, because basically it is telling you, and it's just good basic home training. But I see what I have marked here is how basically when you're eating at like a formal dinner, and when you have all of the silverware that's set out, basically how you use the silverware. Because sometimes when you sit down to a table, a formal dining experience, you're intimidated by all of the silverware that's sitting before you. But in this book, it tells you about how you're supposed to utilize those utensils. And so it from everything, and I'm just looking at just the different things in here. It talks about marriage. It talks about being a part of a church. It even tells you about how to join a church, how to leave a church. It tells you how you're supposed to behave at different functions, like even at a baby shower. It talks about that. Just so many different things. It tells you about sending out invitations and how do you respond when somebody gives you a gift. Like I said, just basic home training. How to announce your engagement. I could just go on and on and on. This is a good book. It's an old book, but it is definitely relevant. Lots of T.D. Jakes books, Toni Morrison, Terry McMillan, Rosalind McMillan, Iyanla Vanzant, all of just lots and lots of books, lots and lots of books. Um, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I've shared with you all basically kind of what I'm working on today. And for those of you all who have stayed the course and listened to me just kind of go on and on and on, I just want to let you all know that whenever you're faced with a decision, you know, the decisions that we have in our lives, some of them are quite difficult to make, and some of them you can make without any ease. It's with ease, because they're just, it's like, you know, it's just a decision. There's no heartstrings that are tied to it. And so those are the easy decisions. But when you have decisions to make in your life and they are difficult to make, one of the things that I always say is acknowledge God. Definitely pray about the decisions, those major decisions that you have in your life, the things that you have to do. And even with this, some may say this is very simple, a very simple thing to do. But as you can tell by my conversation for the last 31 minutes, that it's not so easy. It's a very difficult thing that I need to do. It's not just as simple as cleaning off the shelves and packing up everything. It's not that simple. But when we acknowledge God in our decision making, when we acknowledge God in the very things that are important to us, remember those things are important to God as well. If you take it to Him and allow Him to lead you and guide you, then I feel like you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. The Bible says, in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct thy paths, at their path. And so I know that to be true. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend some time, you know, doing some work on the computer. I have a couple of projects that I want to work on and try to get finished. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to be talking to the Lord about what I need to do about all this stuff over here behind me. And so you all enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you have had an amazing weekend, an amazing Sunday, and praying that your week goes well. Join me back here. I do a Monday morning motivation, and I usually post it on all of my social media platforms. If you're not a subscriber and if you're watching this, definitely consider becoming a subscriber. I would love to have you. I am trying to get monetized. I am trying to get my watch hours in. I am trying to get my numbers up. And let me just tell you, for the last, 45 plus days now, I started in January trying to post a video every single day, trying to post some shorts. I've missed a couple of days, but not many. Let me just tell you, I started with like 45 subscribers, and it's been sitting like that at 45 subscribers for a long time, because basically I was not trying to necessarily grow my YouTube channel. I was a consumer. I would come on YouTube and I would scroll and I would watch. I would just enjoy the different things that were on here, the content, but I wasn't serious about trying to grow my channel. But now I am serious about trying to grow my channel, and I want to get to the point where it is monetized just like everybody else. One of the things I will say is that I have seen in the last 45 days, people will go from almost zero to thousands of subscribers. And I am so very grateful for them. I'm so very happy for them, which lets me know that if they can do it with by being consistent, and that I can do it as well, because I know that God reigns. That may not be the right scripture for this, but I know that God gives everybody, He's just. And I know that God has favored me, And so I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going because I know that I'm going to eventually become monetized. And I'm just hoping that it happens sooner rather than later. I'm going to get my number of subscribers that I need. I'm going to get those watch hours that I need, and I will be monetized. And I'm so looking forward to that. So I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep staying in the game. I'm going to keep doing my daily videos and shorts. And if I miss a day, I'm just going to get back and I'm going to do kind of come back strong the next day. But in the meantime, you all continue to do what you're doing. Continue to have a blessed day. Continue to have a blessed life. And thank you all again for hanging out with me on this part of your Sunday afternoon. And everybody have a great rest of your day. All right. Bye-bye.